What's up, everyone? It's your boy, The Business, coming back at you live for episode 34 of The Business. Let's be real. Tonight's special guest is actually a returning guest for me. Somebody I was lucky enough to have on before to kind of promote his tennis business, and the fact that he's a professional and he's trying to train people. And at the time when I had him on previously, he was looking to get back into the pro circuit himself, and happened to do so. And it was funny because he and I had talked about it back on the show that he was going to start trying to get back into playing again. And recently I had checked in with him to see if he had started playing again. And come to find out, he said he had gotten into a tournament. Some events were kind of controversial on the way they went down, and he really wanted to talk to me about it, and he kind of put it out there and kind of let it be known as to what's going on. And because he wasn't satisfied with the way things turned out, and he really wanted to put it out there and kind of talk about that and bring it to life, and I wanted to do that for him as well, to bring him the platform to do so. So, without further ado, with that being said, The Business, Let's Be Real, episode 34 begins now.
Yep.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to The Business, Let's Be Real, with special guest Farris Montgomery. Farris, how you doing tonight?
Oh, what up, Tone? What up? I'm
doing. You holding a beautiful baby?
Yeah, I had to have Mia on because right now my girl's asleep, so she's about to get up there in a little bit minute, come grab the baby. But right now, daddy daycare is all day, every day. So this is Mia. Everybody say hi to Mia.
Hi, sweetheart.
Definitely, man. It's good to see you, though, Tone.
Oh yeah, definitely. Appreciate you coming on. Like I had alluded to earlier in my monologue, when you were previously on the show, we were mainly focusing on your life, the business, kind of how it all came to pass, what you were doing now, and what you were looking to do in the future. And at that time, you were talking about the fact that you were coaching and trying to help others reach their goals. And then you had also talked about the fact that you were going to get yourself back into playing again. You were going to get yourself back into shape, get back to playing again, and really get out there and try to get back into things.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had reached out to you a couple of weeks back, and I think you were still getting ready. This was months ago, actually. When I reached out to you, asked how things were going. You were like, "Hey, well, I'm getting ready to get into a tournament, getting ready to play." So I was like, "Oh, cool! I'll check in with him."
Back to back.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I'll check in with him, see how he's doing after those. Maybe we'll bring you on for this follow up. And
you were doing follow ups with everybody, though. I remember you was like, "Yeah, I'm about to do a whole nother slew of follow-ups instead of just continuing with the next segment." I was like, man, he's doing it right, man. At least, because you can get like 45, 55 episodes underneath, but then you ain't even followed up on nobody. That's why, man, I was happy, should I say. I was like, okay, he about to do the follow-ups. So, and then you hit me up right away. So that really kind of played all together, like exactly where, I was hoping to hear from you. I wanted to talk more about it. I mean, it was the way you just did your platform, your logo, it really looks like you. You know how some people have logos and it don't look like. And then you shaved your beard off that one day. I was like, you better let that shit grow back.
and I'm trying. Everybody was like, who the fuck is that?
Hey, and listen, before we go any further, man, I want to say this, man. I know Tony put on there, I think he put the Parental Advisory, Explicit Language.
Yeah.
Tony talked about, I told him I might get a little heated about some of the things that goes on. And so I'm going to tell you this right now. And let's throw that upstairs, bro. Ain't nothing I can do with that. Actually, no, bring it here so they can see it first. I was like, I'm just glad. I'm super, super, super glad, bro. Timo, he had just brought the chicken off the grill so y'all can see, you know.
See, look at that.
Some people was burnt, but they ain't from Lorraine, so I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, or Kentucky. Definitely. So yeah, I'm glad to be back, man. I'm glad that you're giving me the opportunity and this platform, your platform, because I think that you are doing an excellent job, and I'm honored to have the privilege to be a part of this, man. So all right, on to the next question. What you want to know, man?
Well, you know, when we started to, like I said, discuss what events you were looking to get into, then you started, I guess, working on your ranking and sending in those applications. Can you talk about that application process and kind of like how that starts?
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I'll start off by saying this first and foremost. The ITF is the International Tennis Federation. Then you got the USTA, United States Tennis Association. You really want to be, or you have to be, a member of the United States Tennis Association to actually enter a USTA event. So with the ITF, it's a little bit, it's not that much different, but what I was entering were invitationals. And of course, if you don't know the difference between a tournament and an invitational, look at me. A tournament is usually going to have a lot of people. Like when I was in Florida, like those months back when I was there, I was down around your area, Zephyr Hills, Florida. That was a very large USTA and ITF tournament. So, but an invitational, it's a smaller field. The field of people is smaller because you're hand selected by a board of people. I don't know who the people are. I don't know what kind of selection or what it takes to get selected, but you literally have to put in your application first, and then you wait. I waited like weeks, before I heard back from them and say, hey, you've been invited. And so you give them your credit card information. If you don't have a sponsor taking care of that, because I don't have any sponsors, so fees get hefty. So you give them your credit card information. They run your credit card, just put it on hold. So if you are accepted or invited to the invitational, then they say, okay, you're invited. They throw you in the ranks, and then they charge your card, the $100, $200, $300, whatever it costs to get in this invitation. This particular one was like $93.50. Now I'm gonna round that up to $100 because that's how that's $100. That's $100. You can even get a Big Mac meal deal with the change back with that. Supersize that. So that's how that kind of goes. And then you're in the tournament. Bottom line.
So, in leading up to the tournament that happened there, was that in Louisville? Is that what that was?
Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky, right on the Ohio River. It's called the Louisville Boat Club, right on the river.
River Road?
Right, yeah, it's on River Road. It's a very old. It ain't. Look, it's not even called a tennis club. That's weird, right? It's called the Boat Club.
Yeah.
I don't want to put no emphasis behind why it would be called the boat.
I'm gonna call it the Billy Club because it's really what it is. If you ain't under their gun or under their string, then it's no go for them. But if you got good credibility or your jacket or your sheets long and but they gonna use you and then bring in business. But then in the physical, it ain't no fair play. Like my man's right here, it ain't no fair play.
Now I'm glad he jumped in on that because I'm explaining to the viewers today. My man's gonna have to interject on some things because remember when I told you about the parental advisory? I'm still a little shy about saying kind of really how I feel because you really want us to tell the truth here, Tony. Man, he's got my back right now to explain to you a little bit more about where this place is at. But it is in Louisville, Kentucky. It has been there since 1874. We're not talking about some club that was built in 2009, something built in 1990, not 1920. This is 1874. So the history of that alone, I'm gonna be real with you. This is a real deal Jim Crow situation we're talking about. So
that's the way he kept it. That's the way that I started out from the way everything ended up being.
Like, sit down so you can get the camera. Sit down.
Like I'm talking like from the prejudge, from when we entered. From the prejudge into I don't know, so to his jacket, to his credibility, his credentials was fine. So that's what they took at. Okay, we ain't gonna give no fair exchange.
All right, sit down, man. That's enough. All right, so go ahead, Tony. What's the next?
No, you're good. When you, I guess, were then set to get into this tournament.
Yes.
And I mean, how many weeks do you prepare for a tournament like this?
Man.
I don't want to get too much into the controversy yet of what happened.
Yeah,
I more want to talk about your preparation and what you were doing leading up to it.
The preparation was one of the parts that really meant the most to this story, okay? Because it was not weeks. I started preparing on March 29th of 2020 for this tournament on June 10th, 2021. Okay, and for people who aren't aware of what it takes to prepare for a tournament, when you're a professional and you're really wanting to make your mark again, you know, you don't just jump into something and be like, oh yeah, I play tennis, or yeah, I play basketball, I can get in there and okay. You really have to live up to or should I say, you should respect the sport a little bit more to prepare yourself to the utmost. So what I did was I sought after my good friend and business partner, John Becerra in Las Vegas, who has been one of the most highly sought after fitness experts to the stars in Hollywood for the past 30 years. And truth be told, he's the same person who physically trains Andre Agassi, one of my idols. So I called John and I'm like, John, listen, you know, I'm ready to get back in shape. I need to get back on the tour, on the circuit. I'm taking my tennis serious. He knows it's a full-time gig. So what do? I fork over the thousands of dollars that it costs, you know, to make it happen. And I go through this training regimen. I don't know if I sent you any of those pictures of my before and afters and whatnot, but I was going through a really hard time in the beginning because I had just got out of the hospital. I had, I don't know the scientific word, but I ain't gonna lie. I had like a mini stroke, you know, got hospitalized, you know, and things were going bad. So, you know, I knew that I needed to take extreme measures and get things right if I really wanted to make a comeback at the age of 45. So I did it. I got in the best shape of my life. I got back on the circuit. I went and got my USTA or my PTR, Professional Tennis Registry certification in Atlanta, Georgia. A grueling 3 days on the tennis courts. That was just ridiculous. Got everything up and running, got my website up and running, you know, get your credentials running. You prepare yourself mentally more than anything. And it took a lot. It took me a year and a half to get ready for just this one tournament. Now, was it this specific tournament? No, it was just like, I'm going to get back on the circuit. So let's get into something. So I chose.
That was your starting point. Like you were focusing on that one thing to get started. Yeah.
My starting point was this. I know that my credentials itself will get me in because my credentials are there. So as long as, you know, they're willing or they're wanting some new blood on the scene and they really want to change everything, then they'll see it. They'll invite me, you know, but I still wasn't a guarantee that they were going to invite me, but they did. Got in there, whoop, whoop, and then the rest is here to come.
Yes, it is here to come.
So
Victoria Flores is popping in.
Hey, Victoria, how you doing there?
She wants to wear it to us. She's, you know, she appreciates you, dude. She appreciates Lorraine, and Lorraine represent.
Hey, before we even go any further, Lorraine, not only Lorraine representing, who's that kid? Christian Quillis, isn't his brother in like the world?
Yeah, I know it playing Mortal Kombat and stuff, dude. I saw that. He's like
Mortal Kombat player in the world. Oh, all right, man. We got fast forward because that blew my mind.
I did see that. Shout out to the king, man.
All day.
Hell yeah.
Proud.
Hell yeah. Were you able to get into any other tournaments before this Louisville tournament, or was the Louisville tournament going to be the first one of the possibles?
I had previously, like 9 to 10 months prior to this, I was in there was a 4th of July firecracker tournament, $5,000 prize jacket, you know, and right around the corner at the Springhurst Center here in Louisville. So I had entered another tournament, lost against, someone who had been on the court sooner than me, or should I say more than me at the time. So in reality, what I did was I did enter a tournament without fully being prepared, just to see where my mental was at and where my physical was at. Even though I got whooped by somebody that wasn't even better than me, my mental wasn't there, and I hadn't done it in so long. So my muscle memory to actually being in competition was not as keen as I thought it would be. But it was a great learning experience, and it drove me to go ahead and to do exactly what I needed to do, put it in the next 10 to 11 months of training. Not just myself, but I have students that I train as well. So I'm on the court, 10 hours a day, some days. So yeah, that was not the first one. So I had done another one prior to that.
But so you're saying though that first one that you did take on, it was more just like a weighing scale.
Yeah.
Like you were like, let me see where I'm at right now,
Yeah.
so then I can know how much I do need to
Exactly.
prepare.
You know, and I paid money to enter the tournament as well. These aren't free. You know, none of this is free. The training isn't free. Nothing's free. So unless you just got it like that. So yeah.
I get it. All right, then leading up to the Louisville tournament.
Yeah.
I guess let's start with, check-in, I guess, because that's where you said it all started. Where things started to go wrong right away. Can we now, I guess, focus on this Louisville Boat Club tournament and talk about what began there?
Okay. Now this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give my homie some instructions because we practiced this a little bit. Now I'm gonna tell you when to cue in, because you got to realize this man behind me is my only certified trainer for the games that I've traveled the country with. He's been with me, so he saw things that I didn't see. He let me know things that I didn't know because there's so many other things going on. But I'll fast forward. Here we go.
Hold on though. Don't let T. Listen, when you tell me what's going on, don't jump too fast because I got questions that I want to ask in between to kind of. So don't eat me all up at once. Just give me a second and I'll chop you with questions.
I'm calm, baby.
Okay. All right. No, you're good.
Look, I'm gonna say this I've been in the hospitality industry and as a profession for about 15 and a half years. Let's say 16 years solid. 10 right here in Louisville with some of the most prestigious hotels and restaurants who have called me and asked me. So I know hospitality, I know courtesy, I know what to expect, and I know what not to expect. Entering this place, okay, I walk up to the registration table. If you know anything about sports, you walk up to the registration table and there's usually a person there about to register something. So I walk up to the table and the man, what's his name? Remember? Tom. I'm going to go with Tom because that is his name. Tom completely ignores me.
Exactly.
Now, I've seen this happen before all the time as a bartender. The people who walk up to my bar, they might have something against me. They don't like me, whatever. So they, I say, hi, how are you doing? And what can I get you? And they just stand there and look at you like you're a piece of shit. I mean, like, or you don't exist. Or anything else that you want to add to it. And this man didn't even do that. He made it a little bit more clear. He didn't say anything. He ignored me. I'm the only one there, to the point where he walked away after I'm just still trying to get his attention. I'm like standing in front of him 4 feet. I had my mask on, as mandated at the time. I was the only one, pretty much my crew, we're the only ones wearing masks. Okay. Just to throw that out there to the USTA, because I know there's protocols we're supposed to have, but clearly some people ain't got to follow them. So, I walk up there, he ignores me. He ignores me the whole time. It takes about 5 minutes before he finally makes eye contact with me. And I say, hey, I don't even know what I said. Hey, so yeah, I'm just here to check in. My name's Farris Montgomery. He looks on there. He notices the name that he didn't know anything about. Because mind you, these people don't know me. They don't know me. At least they don't know my face. They know my name because I'm entered into this 36th annual tournament that I was selected from somehow. I don't know how it happened. And he ignores me. And it takes a long time for me to really get registered in. I'm waiting to see where my opponent's at. He's nowhere around. He's nowhere in sight. And time goes on. Now you got to realize I came to this tournament and I entered, or should I say I registered, an hour and a half? Hour and a half early. We're not talking about right before the tournament. We're talking about almost 2 hours before. So I'm just accustomed to doing that. So here, take her. So that's kind of how it all started. That's how it all started with the registration and walking up that ramp, being completely ignored. My presence not even being doesn't exist. Right? It doesn't. I don't exist. And the moment that happened, in my professional years, I knew what was going on. This guy is about to discriminate against me. This guy is about to play some game that on any other day in life, circumstances would have went differently. Right. But because of my sport, because of my composure that I had to keep, I let the man go ahead and play his little game, do his little whoop whoop, and then it went from there.
All right. You talked about the I mean, pretty much an acknowledgement of them at the check-in table. When you walked up, nobody says nothing. You're pretty much asking for help. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can get yourself checked in, because that's the way we're supposed to do. You want to get checked in. You want to get ready to, hey, where do I go warm up? You know what I mean? Let me know where I got to go so I can get started getting busy. Yeah. And, nobody acknowledges you, which I know is irritating at the time. Can you talk somewhat about, because you talked about the fact that you guys are there. Well, I didn't even say you guys yet. You're there to check in.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the following that you have with you? That will also had come with you just because it was your first time really back. Some people had never seen you play. Some people wanted to see you play again. Can you talk about the following that was with you at that time?
Like I said in the beginning, an invitational means that there's going to be, and I'll tell you the definition that they put in tennis. Invitational is usually going to be a field of star-studded individuals. You're not just letting anyone enter it. So I don't know how. I guess I was too star-studded or whatnot, because I had about 13 people with me. Okay, my mom.
Too much swag.
My mom hasn't seen me play tennis or compete since I was like 19 years old, 21 years old. So that was special enough that I could stop right there if I really wanted to. My mom was there. My sister was there. My girlfriend, my daughter, my sons, my coach, his sons, nieces, nephews. You see what I'm saying? I had a whole following of people there. And what made it so special for me, because I knew what I was there to do. I was there to win. I was there to make my money. I wasn't there to embarrass nobody or to do nothing. I brought my peoples with me. We came in as fly as we could be. We stayed, nothing over exaggerated. We just came in normal, as
sure. Looking totally different though. Not the same, because he was under the impression of when I asked about my guy's looking for his competition. Is his match ready yet? Now are you Farris? Are you Farris Montgomery? No, clearly he's standing right in front of you, right? He's been standing in front of your desk for 45 minutes. You ain't said nothing to him.
We did. Like, there was a moment of what he's saying is there was a moment where I don't even know. Not only did he not acknowledge me, when he finally did try to acknowledge me, he goes and walks up to him. And I'm like, I'm the only brother there with tennis rackets on my back.
You're like, I got the tennis gear on. Everybody else is flying out, like ready to chill, like ready to cheer you on. You're like, I'm the only one dressed to play right now. What are we talking about here? Like,
he down the ramp. He down the ramp in the parking lot with his son. I'm literally following him around with my tennis rackets on my back, mask. Not only do I have a mask on, my mask is a tennis mask. It has a bunch of tennis rackets on it. Stood out
from anybody clearly.
I'm wearing my SVB shirt, my Sarah Vonderbergen Tennis Wellness Center from Zephyr Hills, Florida. Representing Zephyr Hills. You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you what it was.
No, let's not say it. Let's not say it. Okay. We don't want to. No allegations. We just want to go with the facts. Yeah. So that's how it went, bro.
Well, I get it. Okay, so I guess, do they finally get you checked in? Right?
Yeah.
That was the final outcome to it all. It just took way longer than it should have.
All I got to do is say I'm here. Once I say I'm here, all I had to do was just walk away. Remember, I told you I got there an hour and a half early. I've been checking into registration tables at USTA events since I was 7 years old. I'm 45 now.
Yeah, you're like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. There's no new protocol. You walk up, you say, hey, I'm Farris Montgomery, I'm here. And then they mark your name and they say, we'll call your name when you're ready.
And you're checked in. That's it.
That's it. There's no other process. So
I get it. I've done a lot of sporting events. I was in karate. I was in wrestling. Like, I fucking checked into a lot of tournaments. So I definitely know what you mean.
I told my homie you play baseball. Did you baseball?
I play baseball too. Yeah. Oh yeah. I play travel ball. Yeah, I play travel ball. My son plays travel ball now. Like, I literally just ran here from a game to to hurry up and get here before the show. Like, so I know about ball. So, there are some people checking in from the chat. I do want to pop them up because Ruck Ruger's popping in.
Yo, man, what's up, Deshaun? yo,
Yeah.
I gotta pause for station identification.
Yeah, him and Jose, you know, the brothers are my boy. Actually, I played ball with Jose Lynn. Jose Lynn was on my travel baseball team.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, his brother was on my travel ball team.
Man, with a name like Jose Lynn, I thought he was gonna go pro. I ain't gonna lie.
He should have. I tell you what, he could have if he really wanted to.
Yeah, he took that path.
Like he was
to the military, man. Let him go, man. Let him go.
He was a prototypical like ball player though, like big guy, could hit, could throw, like I mean, great player. So
but let me just finish what I was telling you before we go to the next question, bro.
Okay.
So you check in, okay? Now it was about, I'm gonna say, let's see, match play was at 1 p.m. So at 12:45, I'm looking around to see where Thomas Lackey is at. This is my opponent. I'm looking around because I don't need to know your name. I know if I'm playing you or not. You know how I know? Because I'm a tennis player. All tennis players know when they walk into a tournament, they have a very keen sense of who the guy is they're playing. They look at their style, they look at their profile. We profile them as someone walks up to it. And then you keep a nice ear open. You know, if they say, here, I'm Thomas Lackey, you can hear that. So it's a normal thing. Thomas Lackey was nowhere around 15 minutes before, you know, when he was supposed to be registering. So when 1 o'clock rolls around, he's already 15 minutes late. Thomas Lackey's nowhere around. He's not. I hear the Mr. Tom Scoville is his name, the tournament director, the guy who ignored me. I hear him calling Thomas Lackey's name for him to come register. Right?
Yeah.
Thomas Lackey's nowhere around.
And what do they do in that case? Are they just yelling it out loud, or are they putting it over the speakertron, or what are they doing?
Yeah, they're just yelling it out loud. You don't need no microphone. You got to remember, tennis is a quiet sport. So when it's quiet, all you got to do is be normal talking like me, and this is loud. Even though I'm loud automatically, it don't matter.
That's just that day.
You know what I'm saying? But there's matches going on. So if you hear someone say Farris Montgomery, everyone in the entire club is going to hear it over an entire acre.
Sure.
So when he starts calling for my opponent's name, everyone's silent.
Okay.
And no one's looking around like, look, no one's even saying, Thomas is in the locker room, or let's go get him, or where he's okay. It's nothing. That made me suspicious right there. That made me very suspicious. But bottom line is, he never showed up. He never showed up, bro.
This is match one. Now, is this the same day? Is this following you checking in? Like, does those two events both happen in the same day?
No. I wish it would have. That would have been great, man. Matter of fact, the person I was supposed to play next after I beat this guy, he was there as well. So we could have just laced up right then and there and got it going. You know what I'm saying? There's all kind of ways to just, speed along a tournament. You know what I'm saying? Players are there and they're like, hey, I'm ready to play. I could have whooped this dude real quick. And then the other guy be like, you ready to play? I'm like, yeah, I'm not tired. Let's play. We could have done that. We could have agreed on that right away. But that's not how it went. Thomas Lackey did not show up for his event. He wasn't there, and I won by default. That's it.
And what do they call that in your sport? I know you and I talked about it, and I know what it is by name. But for those out there that don't know, sometimes they may call it a forfeit or a bye. What do they call it in tennis? In tennis,
I can tell you what they call it in tennis, and I can also, but I prefer to tell you what he wrote down, what Thomas Scoville wrote down.
Sure.
He had a paper ledger. So because you got to remember, this guy, this tournament director, he's like 74, 73 years old. This is an old guy, okay?
Yeah.
In his paper ledger, he wrote down W/O, which means a walkover. Walkover has a either way I won. On the USTA website, he coded it as DEF, as a default. Okay, which is another gray area of how you want to word it. Okay.
Sure.
You can also have a bye. But I didn't get a bye, and then of course, according to the UTR, the Universal Tennis Ranking System, which is an international ranking system, I won as well. I won, and it didn't even say by default or won. It just said that I won. So those are the differences. It's a default, a walkover, or a bye. One way or another, they're all wins in your favor.
Yeah. No, I get it. And then I guess after that first day, and you get the walkover.
Yeah, I get the.
You then go to the next round of the tournament, which is the following day,
quarterfinal.
Then can you kind of prelude as to you showed up, you checked in, you had your crowd with you.
I didn't check in because of the last day, the day before that, I didn't check in. I sent my coaching assistant to go check me in. I stayed in the parking lot the second day.
I'm talking about the first day though. Still, I'm talking about the first day though.
Oh, okay.
Like you go, you check in,
yeah.
You get a walkover, and then you show up for you have your crowd with you that are ready to stand there. By the second day, now they've and you and I talked about this because I remember how I was saying how your crowd wasn't as big the second day because they were like, what's going on? He didn't get to play the first day. So can you talk about like how your preparation was mentally for the second day? Were you thinking things were starting to go the wrong way?
Oh no, the second day was love. The second day made me happy because I forgot about the way the guy treated me. I'm like, forget it. I don't care.
Yeah, that's what I was great.
I was like, I'm in the quarterfinals now. I don't care what you can stream out. Now I got one less game. I got one less match to play to win this 25 G's, or at least a piece of this 25 G's. So there was the second day was gravy. I woke up. I'm like, cool, man. I'm gonna get there. I'm not checking in. I'm gonna send. We drove up there. I said, Timbo. I said, Coach Timbo, can you go ahead and check me in? Just let them know I'm here. Yeah. And I didn't show up an hour and a half early either. This day I came. I was like, I'm gonna just come 15 minutes early. Yep. I'm gonna come my normal 15 minutes. Check in at 2:45. Yep. Because the match is at 3. No, 3 o'clock. Because the match was at 3:30, I believe. Okay. So I'm excited because I went home. My mental preparation, I was able to, I was really happy that I was mentally able to just forget about the fact that this dude wanted to act like an ass and want to do what he did and act the way he did towards me by ignoring me, not giving me any kind of courtesy or respect. So I was able to let that go because I was in the quarterfinal, one step closer to the money. Okay, screw you, whatever. But he goes to register me in. What did they say?
He gonna say, "Oh, well, where's he at?" We tell him we've been waiting on him. And the whole registered in my mind. What registered in my mind was, what was this attitude at yesterday? Man, it's like you took the whole mascara, the whole makeup off today. Now you got a welcoming feeling about yourself today. Yesterday it was all about it's like that. And he's been standing in front, and Farris been standing in front of you for 45 minutes. I said, "Come on, man, you know what's going on. You know what you're doing. You at the top of your position, and you can make a change, make Farris change where it ain't no robbery, but you still go to cheat this man out this man's credentials, man."
So I show up. He checks me in. I get there, and he says, and this is where everything changes. We at the 32-minute mark right here. This is where it all changes.
Yeah.
Dude had the audacity to walk up there to play my quarterfinals match against Robbie Robertson out of Kentucky, somewhere, little backwoods somewhere in Kentucky. Everything's a backwoods here in Kentucky. Somewhere in Kentucky, Robbie Robertson, because I met him the day before. We knew we were playing each other. I walk up to the registration table. Guess what this dude says? He says, "Oh, Farris, hey, I'm glad you're here. We've been looking for you. Thomas Lackey's here now. We got you guys all ready to play." You see that awkward silence right there? Yeah. Everybody, how does that work? How does that work? Now, for you to pull something like that on a professional, someone who knows the sport of tennis better than he knows himself, you got a lot of balls. You got a lot of balls to try to just have me show up to play my next final match, and you put me up against the same guy that didn't show up for his match the prior day. You got to have a lot of balls in your and somebody else's balls in your hands as well to pull that one off, or to have the audacity to pull it off against me. Now now this is where the parental violence. Parental advisory comes in.
Hold on, let me pop it up first.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, we practice this a little bit, but it's the truth. On any other day where I'm from, Tony, you try to pull some bullshit like that with me, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you.
I swear.
I got you.
I'm gonna smack the shit out of you, and I'm gonna drag you across every tennis court I see.
Yeah.
Taking food out my family's mouth like that, cheating me out of a sport that I've dedicated my life to, that I know every rule, I know every principle, I know every bylaw, I know everything about it.
I know.
You gonna try to cheat me like that? But my courtesy and my respect Didn't allow me to say none of that, what I just said right there, or act that way. All I did was take the tennis balls when Thomas Lackey came. Now, mind you, when he said Thomas was there, Thomas was not there. Thomas wasn't standing right there ready to play. I don't know where Thomas was at. He left, went into the good old boys locker room, was in there for about 4 or 5 minutes with him, and then they came out. So I don't know what they discussed, but that's not how tennis works. That's not how any sport works. If Duke was playing North Carolina and the Duke team didn't show up to play the game, what happens?
Oh, it's lost by forfeit, man. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's what it is, bro. That's what it is, bro. He shouldn't have showed up. That's bullshit. Like, they shouldn't have been able to show up the next day and play. His part of the tournament was done. Thomas Lackey was no longer a part of the tournament.
I'm sorry,
and it was
Dr. Thomas Lackey. I'm sorry. Let's get it.
Well, you know what's funny is that I know a lot of people. My wife's, you know, been in Florida, and her family's been in Florida, you know, for many generations. So I'm sure that Thomas Lackey falls somewhere in their line of friendship because he's from Sebring, Florida. And I know that, you know what I'm saying, when I was reading the paperwork that you sent me and I'm reading the tournament bracket, I'm like, this dude's from Sebring? I'm like, we probably know this guy somehow down the line of things. And I mean, I know that you're not personally attacking that guy because he's just doing what he's told.
No, Thomas Lackey, great guy. You know, I mean, like I said, this has nothing to do with the players. Now, if I come to find out that he had something to do with it, that's a whole nother story.
Wow.
That's a whole. But at the same time, when I got on the court with him, you know, I asked Thomas a question.
I'm sure you did.
I asked him, I said, hey, Thomas, I said, hey, man. So as we sit down and get ready, I said, hey, man, what happened to you yesterday? Yeah, you know,
what did he have to say?
So you got to be friends, you know. I just played the role. I played along and see how far are you going to really take this? How far are they willing to take it? I asked him, Thomas, what happened to you yesterday, man? First thing he says is, oh, dude. He said it just like that. Ah, bro, or dude. He didn't say bro. Right? That's not what he said. He said, dude. He said, man, I told Tom 4 months ago I wasn't going to be able to make it to the tournament. In fact, I called him a couple weeks ago, and I told him, man, you're just going to have to forfeit me or default me, man. I'm going to be in surgery. You know, I'm not going to be, or not surgery, but I'm going to be still in Florida. My flight doesn't come in till the next day. I'll be there for the doubles tournament, but I'm not going to make the singles match. So just do what you got to do. Wow. So the dude already knew for months that
he wasn't competing in singles.
So when he was yelling out Thomas Lackey's name, isn't that fucked up that he already knew that Thomas wasn't even in the state of Kentucky at the time?
That's what happened.
Let him fast forward, man. Go ahead. And then what? What's next, bro?
He tore out right there. Lackey knew Lackey wasn't there.
He wasn't even there. He knew he wasn't there.
Called this man's name and Lackey wasn't there, man. And this man been standing in front of you for
2 hours.
For a whole day down there.
And you knew he was not even going to show up to the tournament.
You undermine this man just because of the position that you in. You read this man's credentials before you seen his physical play. And then you spooked him. Inferiority of a Titan black man.
You see somebody pop in like, that's BS. He's like, he lost his chance. He didn't show up the first time. That's match. You know that.
Now, like you just said, that was the first time where the race car really hit me right there. When that happened, that's when the racial discrimination really truly hit my mind. At that point. All right, next question, bro.
No, well, I mean, we were going to start to head that route. So I mean, and you just started to tap into it. So let's go ahead and tap into that route. You hadn't brought up anything about racial discrimination yet.
No.
You just said that they were showing you no attention, not being attentive to the situation when you were trying to check in. All these things had led up to now the second day. This guy shows up. You ask him the question of, what happened yesterday? And he tells you, hey, I wasn't planning on playing in singles anyway. Like I told them I wasn't showing up.
Yeah. Tom be here.
Can you, I guess start to talk about what you really felt like you just scratched it. You scratched it right before the end of that statement.
At the point when he called Thomas Lackey's name, I lost it. When we sat down and asked him a question where he was at, I really lost it. Now, what do I mean by lost it? Man, I lost all mental preparation that I had prepared for the last 2 years of my life for this tournament, bro. I lost it all, bro.
I got it.
All I could think about from the time we started warming up was I should go back over there and smack this nigga in his mouth. I'm sorry, not nigga, white nigga. I should go smack this white nigga in his mouth. The whole time I'm out on the tennis court, that I prepared my life for this, and the whole thing, all I can think of is, man, I should just go smack the shit out of him. I'm gonna keep saying this, bro, because this is not the things you should be thinking about on the tennis court. This is not the things you should be thinking about in any competition, especially when it's your livelihood.
That's true.
But in my heart of hearts, all I could think about was I should smack the shit out of this dude, the 73-year-old white man, who just took my whole life back to a Jim Crow era that I was not born and raised in.
I got you.
You see what
I'm
saying?
not laughing at you. I'm laughing at your family commenting on it right now. I'm like, did she
there,
just
bro?
put that up there?
They was
Yeah,
there.
I gotta post it. I'm sorry.
How?
Hold on. I'm like, she put it.
You
Megan
know?
posted. She's like, we thought he said Thomas Black.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she told me that she was there. I didn't know, and I mean,
I thought she was joking. Like, that's got me dying right
yeah,
now.
you know what I'm saying?
Megan, that's great. I'm sorry. I'm like,
so
you're in the midst of talking, you're serious, and I'm giggling like,
yeah, no, it's funny. It's serious and funny at the same time. But look, once again, I paid money for this tournament. That's the beginning of it. I paid money to get in it to have a chance to win.
Yeah.
Not paid money to bribe someone to whoop, just a chance to win. Now, in my heart of hearts, when I showed up there on June 10th at 1 p.m., I knew I was going to win. And clearly, from the way they saw me, they knew that I might just take home the bacon too, and they was going to do whatever it took to make sure I don't come out of here with no money and want nobody going to say nothing about it. But that ain't how I roll with me. You ain't about to do me like that.
I got you.
I want to go everywhere. Like I was telling him the other day, even though this ain't the true talk, this is real talk, but this is just the inside of me. If I see that nigga on the streets, you see what I'm saying? That's how I was feeling.
You and I had a real conversation about this off the air a couple of weeks ago. Like when we really talked about doing this show, there were no tapings. It was just you and I shooting it, and you were being real, and I was being real, and you know what I mean. And I get it, I do, and I totally understand where you're coming from. I guess. Since you've seen it come that way from this tournament, I guess then what do you do now at this point? What's your mindset? I guess stepping onto the court with Thomas Lackey at this point, like you're now like, oh, okay, I guess I'm playing this guy. What do you do now at this point?
I decided very quickly I'm not about to showboat for these Billies. I'm not, because you got to realize in tennis. There's a lot of now. Let me throw the race card in. Excuse me. Let me throw the race card in there. In tennis, it's always going to be a good show when you see a black dude against a white dude on the tennis court. I'm gonna throw that out there. It's just a stigma in the mind of people: black versus white. I'm gonna just throw that out there, just right there. Go all the way back to think about any black person you see playing a white person on tennis. You automatically know that this sport ain't for that black person. He's one of, or she is one of a million.
I got you. Yeah.
So when I get on the court, my whole thing was, not only am I taking this all the way to the top, to New York, to the national committee, I'm not even about to give nobody in this club the luxury of seeing me whoop this dude's ass. You ain't even gonna see my style of play. Next time you see my style of play, you better hope it's on the court, number one, and not somewhere else. So what I did was I reluctantly but humbly let homie win 6-0, 6-0. I gave him 40 minutes out there. I let balls fly. Did I not? I let the balls go wherever they wanted to. We'll do what you want to do, man. I wasn't even feeling it at all, because the whole time in my mind I was thinking about what I got to do next. What's my next move? Because these people is gonna pay for what they just did. They're gonna pay, and I ain't gonna say these people. Thomas Lackey, he gonna pay for what not Thomas Lackey. Tom Scoville. I hope it ain't Thomas Lackey, because that means it's a whole group of people. I'm pinpointing just one person, just like they did Emmett Till. The mob came. Just give me that one. Just give him here. Just give him here. You don't have to back him up. You don't have to represent him. Matter of fact, I done heard through the grapevine they're looking for a new person over at the Louisville Club. That they done eliminated his position.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I just heard that yesterday from another tennis pro at U of L.
That's not surprising.
Okay, coincidentally, huh? Okay, but
Yeah.
I'm coming for Tom Scoville. Y'all don't want to be in his corner, that's fine, but y'all gonna all be held accountable. You don't do this to me. Not me. I'm not from here. I'm not from Louisville. And I'm gonna tell you now, my homie's from Louisville, but he ain't never been in the tennis scene. I introduced him to tennis. Apparently around here, these other brothers, a lot of brothers, I ain't naming no names, but from what I hear, they've been letting these Billies do this to him for a long time around here. I've been called out like, man, I can't believe they really did that to you. I'm like, how the hell you know? And if you know, how come you ain't done nothing? They've been doing this around here. Come up to with some bullshit like that, see what happens.
I got you. Okay.
Well,
and that's the thing is like, I mean, I guess you talked about not really playing in that game, I guess, against Thomas Lackey. And then the next day you were supposed to play in the consolation round, but you talked to me about it, you know, pre-show about what, you know, you were like, I'm not even gonna, you know, bother with this at that point.
Give them satisfaction of seeing me play.
Sure.
No. And they wanted that. They wanted to see a good match. Had I got out there and competed with this guy and
but just in the consolation round, they're like, not in the championship round. Like, I don't want him playing for the money.
Consolation round, we ain't gonna have you. But no, I'm not giving you that. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I buy it out. The consolation round, I withdrew. By that time, I withdrew. I was like, I'm good. I'm not out going there and play for nothing. I came here for money. I came here to feed my family. That's what I came here to do. I came here to whoop somebody in tennis to feed my family. First round, quarterfinals, semifinals, boom, and then may the best man win. That's what I came here to do. Fair, like everybody else, not to get cheated.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. And I mean, and I guess, you know, at this point, like, if we can, I guess, talk about, you know, I don't know if you want to really bring up then at this point what happens to you personally in the weeks following that tournament, because you talked to me about it, like I told you previously, and I hate for people to like think that you and I talked about some things that I didn't want to bring on the air, because I do. I like, you know me, like this show is called what it's called. It's the business. Let's be real. I want you to be real on here. With that being said, what I'm gonna do now at this point is I'm gonna drop you solo screen, because I really want you to talk and make the people feel what your mindset was with the you know, it was traumatizing, I guess, to be in that situation.
Say the least. So
and to do so, like I said, drop you solo. I'm gonna pull out of the studio for a second and let you do your thing, man.
All right. So real talk, everybody. Listen. So following after that event, and I'm gonna cut to the chase. This is how I worded it to Tony. I told him, I sent him a message and I said, man, about 3 weeks after, for the following 3 weeks after the tournament, after what that happened, man, I really feel like I became a racist, like a full-fledged racist. Like, I don't know what it is to be a racist. So what I felt clearly had to be racist. I come from an area up in Lorain, Ohio, where there's all kinds of cultures of people. There's all kinds, Black, white, Puerto Rican, Polish, Chinese, Japanese, Hungarian, okay? So I had never experienced what I had experienced. After that, for about almost a month, in the grocery store, some white dude standing too close to me, I'm ready to go in his mouth. Pulling up next to me in a car, dude smoking a cigarette, I look over, it's a white dude, I see Tom Scoville, I'm ready to go in his mouth. I literally started looking at white people like they all the same. Like, you all racist motherfuckers. And if I had a chance to go back in time, I would have smacked the shit out of this dude. And every person I looked at, I saw him. And all I wanted to do was smack the shit out of him. Now, if we go back to 1874, I assume back then smacking the shit out of a nigga wouldn't have been the thing. I think it would have been more like hang that nigga, lynch that nigga, throw him in the river, drown him, kill him, woo, woo, woo. That's kind of like where I was living the whole weeks following. I would drive back by the river club, the boat club, and I look at the landscape, and I think about what was going on. Like, I wasn't even allowed in that club back then. You know, less long, and I felt that there, and it progressed for weeks and weeks. I'm like, man, I started hating white people. Now, I ain't gonna say all white people, but at least the ones that I looked at and I wasn't feeling. And it gave me a really bad feeling about myself. It made me feel like shit. I'm not gonna lie. It made me feel really crappy, like I was a bad person, and that I could find another avenue and a different way to handle this situation. And I prayed. I called my moms. I texted my moms. I told her how hurt I was. I told her how I was crying every night. I told her how, I don't understand how somebody could do this. Especially in a sport that I've been in my entire life. If there was ever racism in my life in the sport of tennis, at least they had the audacity, the respect to hold that little comment until after the tournament. Go home, nigga this, nigga that all day. You won at the dining room table and whatever, but they ain't do it at the club. Okay, so thank you, for those of you who didn't say it to my face, but then at the same time, fuck you too. So, but that's how I felt, man, for weeks. And finally, I came to the solution. Let's just continue the process of filing the complaint, the grievance with the Kentucky USTA manager, Brian Hash. And then once that didn't pan out right, and he did his little fuck shit and made up some story about how we supposed to file a grievance or file a complaint, gave me some old wrong information that I already knew was wrong. So I knew automatically that the Kentucky USTA manager, Brian Hash, I knew he was full of shit as well. So then I decided to say, fuck you, I'm gonna just take it to New York. So I went straight to New York, and I messaged the grievance committee info line in New York. Got a hold of Selena McAdoo. I can't remember her last name, but she's the legal department. Got a contact with her. Woo. Emails went through the grievances. They got the grievance. Everything that I done told y'all already, they know in New York. They got it. They know in New York. Kentucky knows about it. They've all decided to take their stance as, I don't want nothing to do with it. In my opinion, which means whatever it is, they just don't want to fuck with these niggas out here. And these white niggas out here in Kentucky, because they I guess they different. Their standpoint as far as the TIU, USTA, this should have been directed to TIU, the Tennis Integrity Unit. It should have been shifted to them automatically. But at the same time, out of everything going on in the world right now, especially with the tennis community, as the USTA and as private entities are promoting and pushing this whole, we want to bring a little bit more diversity to tennis, and they got a big campaign. I could pull out the last year of tennis magazines right now, and you'll see right now, and quote me on this. Pull out the last 12 months of the tennis magazine, and you're going to see a lot of colors in there. Brown people, black or brown. But anytime before then, between now and back then, you ain't seeing none of that shit. So COVID really took the light to, I don't know if it's COVID that did it, but the USTA has taken a stance to help diversify it. But I'm going to tell the USTA right now live, and I hope they hear this, because if they don't hear it now, they're going to hear it later anyhow. Here in Louisville, they don't care about that shit. They don't care about your bylaws. They don't care about your rules. They don't care about how diverse you want to make tennis. They don't want niggas in their club. Now they got a few there.
That's a certain faction of people, like people that's in their section, or accommodate them to the same type of customer living that they used to. So they got a couple Negroes there beside them, like one that was in the big group. The Commodores?
Yeah. William King. I think he was in the Commodores. Yeah, okay. But this dude's like ancient. He's like 100 years old. So they had him under his wing for a while. They got one of them. So they got a couple brown doctors. They all doctors or something.
In the kitchen.
But people like me, look, I asked one tennis pro after, you see this thing on my head right here? I asked another black tennis pro in the city when I told him about this story. I didn't even tell him the whole story, because I didn't have time to tell him the story, because he had one thing to say. when I told him, man, you hear what these dudes they did to me? You know, the only thing he said, yo, was you wearing that black do-rag thing on your head? I said, yeah, I wear this all the time. He said,
And I had an African dashiki shirt tied around my head, and he was like, was your boy wearing one of them things around his head too? He said, yeah. So they was already prejudged.
And this is from somebody prejudging. This is somebody who's been in the community, who was a tennis pro here for the last 25 years. So and other ones. So that's kind of where I'm at. You know, everyone's taking their stance, and I'm in the fight. You know, I'm not about to just bottom line is this: I'm not about to do what everybody else has done around here in Louisville when they have done this to another brother. I'm not about to sit back and just let it walk like that.
Sure.
Not going to disrespect me, my family, my students. You know, I invited all my students to my tennis match. I have 38 students. They all brown. And I don't mean African-American brown. They're either Egyptian, Indian, Cambodian, or Indian. And 99% of them are Muslim. Okay? I invited all of them. So if I showed up with all of them, that already happened to me. So you already did that to me with just a couple of, you know, my family members. You know, my daughter was there. You know, what would have happened? Would this have happened if I had showed up there with Nick Bollettieri? I was just down in Florida with him. You know, at one of the most prestigious tennis clubs in the world. Am I not lying?
Yeah, you were.
Okay. Conducting games that I created. I'm traveling. I'm doing my thing. Would they have done this to me if I was there with Nick Bollettieri?
No.
Or John Becerra?
Absolutely. No.
Or anybody else? Not my color. That's the question. And I already know the answer. So they can fuck themselves, do their thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna keep it professional on one side. But if I see you in the street, then we're gonna talk about it.
Look, and here's another thing.
We got 3 minutes, bro.
They use his name as credentials to pull business in, but didn't give him a fair exchange as played during his matches.
Go get that upstairs.
Like, he got a book upstairs.
Go get it.
You ain't got 3 minutes. You ain't got 3 minutes. We can talk as long as we want, man. We're not locked into the hour.
Well, what I want to do is I'm going to put this segment down right so that I know that when that 1 hour mark hit, I'm like,
we're not locked to the hour. You talk as long as you want,
tennis
bro.
is about timing, bro. Tennis is all about timing. See how strict I am about that shit?
Yeah. I guess you filed a grievance with USTA. You focused that grievance more towards Scoville or Thomas Scoville, right? And then when you get a response from the young lady who's running the show, and I was reading the report on her statement back to you. It wasn't implicating Thomas Scoville at all. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. I don't even understand what that was. She mentioned some names in the first opening sentence of her response email, her second response email, about that I filed something against, and don't quote me on these names because I have I know this case by front to back, but this is the part I'm confused about. She mentioned something about Tom, Kelly, and Peter, and I'm like, you probably looked at it more.
It's actually, it says the grievance you filed against Bella, Murphy Payne, and Alex. And I read that and I said, I shot you a message the other night and I said, dude, I'm reading the grievance, like her response back to you. And I'm like, who are these people? And you were like, that's the point. See, I have no idea who those people are.
No idea. I couldn't even. Like, so far, I'm accurate on everything that I know. That right there, I have no idea what she's talking about. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a very well-educated woman. I'm absolutely. She represents the legal department for the United States Tennis Association. So what the fuck are you talking about, lady?
Right.
So, her name is Selena McAdoo.
It raises suspicion to you.
Yeah.
You can even pick that up. Like,
well, and the thing is, see, is like I do this little show, and I kind of like bring people on to kind of more bring to life their lives, and kind of and Ferris will tell you, when I originally brought him on, it was to bring his story to life and kind of put it out there so that I mean, you guys all have a platform. I'm willing to do your story in the future if you want to sit down with me one day.
Yeah,
and when he called me back about what had happened at this tournament, he was like, T, I really want to talk about this. I really want to get it out there. And I was like, let's do it. Let's, you know what I mean? Like, this is what this platform is for all of us to tell our stories and then have those recaps of coming on and continuing our story. And this is a continuation of Ferris' story, and you happen to be a part of it. And I appreciate, the fact that both of you have come on and told the story and brought it to life. Now I know you can't get too much into detail of
can't get too much into detail.
Yeah, well, the legality of it all, and I get it because of the fact that I'm not trying to hurt what it is that you're trying to do.
Nothing can possibly hurt it, bro, because this has to go viral, bro. Listen, I'm not afraid to speak the truth. The reason why I'm on here is because you said your name of your show is Let's Be Real. I don't fuck around with falsehoods and making up stories about people. Yeah, I don't walk around cheating people out of shit. I don't do that. All I do is speak the truth. I've had my time in life where I lied and deceived and been whoop whoop. Okay, I was in my 20s, into my 30s. I learned.
No, I get it. Well, and the thing is that even if, and I think that this is the way you're looking at it is the same way I'm looking at it. Even if this does hurt your particular case, it will help those kids in the future that are going to follow in your footsteps, that may have this kind of certain situation happen to them, and they can sit back and look at, hey, this happened to this guy, and he's filed grievances against maybe not the same place, but in the same manner. And it's like, and this goes on in all sports. It's like, it's not just tennis. This is going on throughout everything. You know what I mean? That people are being discriminated against in many different ways. And it's sad to see. It sucks that it happened to you, dude, because I know you're really a good dude. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, I know that all you wanted to do was go out there and play tennis. It wasn't like you were trying to like start any battle out there and fuck with these people. Like, you just wanted to go play the game and do what you enjoy, So it sucks that happened to you, dude.
It really does, man. It really does. And I'm gonna say this because I am a good guy, but what I need for the people that are gonna watch, that are watching this now, and I need for the people that's gonna watch this later on, I need them to understand something about this good guy bullshit. Okay, the good guy, Farris Montgomery, has everything in writing. The good guy sent you some documents that I don't care what I say can't trump what's in writing. Because I didn't create anything that's in writing. Those are documents from the people who did what they did. Now, what it is what you have is the stuff that they tried to hide. Now, what's the first thing you said to me when I told you and I sent you that link, and you was like, "Yo, this is just like some mafia type shit. These are some rich ass motherfuckers, man. This is some you can get killed over shit."
Yeah.
Now we let's just call it what it is, Tony. We low budget. We low budget.
Sure.
We were on a low platform totem pole, okay?
Yeah.
But you recognize right away that the people I'm dealing with, yes, these ain't even rich ass motherfuckers. These is wealthy people. These are some of the wealthiest people in the world.
Them with the boys.
That
group of people that are like above the government are the boys. You know that too.
Yeah, like, the people above the people that's above the people. We dealing with the people that when they said Jim Crow is over, they went and they met at the Louisville Boat Club and said the Jim Crow ain't ever going to end. And they sat there and had their cigars. They find bourbon. They probably rode their $1 million horses up the riverfront, probably dragging the nigga behind it. Okay. And they said, not only is Jim Crow never going to end, we going to make sure it never ends. That's who the people we dealing with.
I feel you.
And I need everyone to not only just feel that, I need y'all to know that that's the motherfucking truth.
Yeah. No, I got it.
You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. Come to Louisville, Kentucky and find out for yourself. Go over there for yourself. You will find out. They turned this little boy's his son away from the swimming pool during the tournament, while there was all kind of other little white boys and white girls swimming in the swimming pool. His little 8-year-old son couldn't even get into the swimming pool.
Let two walk up to him after I just got through asking him, "Can my son swim?" The female was great, make an offer, but the young guy was whispered in her ear and was like, "Nah." Then she read talking the answer. So, and then I seen 2 more little white kids walk up like.
That's what we dealing with,
bro. Don't even worry about it, cause this is a billy club. It ain't my class. I ain't.
I got you.
So,
and I know, and believe me, you know that I understand. I get it. I think.
But you mentioned something just a minute ago. I'm going to tell you now, Tony. There's nothing that's going to damage my credibility or damage me because you're mentioning it as a case. There is no case. This interview you're doing right here is a part of the case because, like I said, I handled this the appropriate way through bylaws, through official documents. Look. The letter I had to send to New York cost me $100. When's the last time you sent an overnight package that cost $100, Tony?
No, I get it. I mean, I work for UPS, so I don't ever send a package that costs $100.
I'm in small packages. Now I understand for sure.
I'm like, I don't ever send packages that cost that much anymore.
Hey, T, now you can only imagine what Arthur Ashe went through.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking back to is those times. Like, think of that in the 70s. You know what I mean? Where I can't even imagine. I mean,
neither can I, bro.
And it's still going on to this day because I mean, obviously, you're bringing it to light something that just happened a couple months ago. So it's never going to go away. Hopefully, it'll slow down always at these places, and that's why we try to bring it to the forefront and bring it to the spotlight so that it does. That people do realize what's going on at some of these places, and they're like, "Wait a second, like let's change some things and let's like not have it at the places where you guys want to go to." Like, I mean, you were there to play a tournament, like you just wanted to play, and that's what's
Tony. Just previously, when I was down in Florida, when I was trying to link up with you, but I was so busy down in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, Nick Bollettieri told me to my face, to our face, he was telling us. And I ain't gonna lie, I went listen, I had to go back and look at the footage. But I was asking him questions, and then I remember him saying about these clubs that shouldn't exist anymore. He was like, "Oh, them little fancy smashy clubs up north." No, he did say up north. He did say that. All right. Well, if he didn't, I don't want to get in trouble with that. But he did say. No, I have it on video.
You're like, I'm not quoting him first.
It's on video.
Word for word.
Quote me. He says, all them fancy smancy clubs, we don't need that shit no more. What we need is clubs like this down here in Florida, SVB with Pascal.
Yeah.
You know, who are representing the world, who has a very diverse look on the sport.
Diverse.
Because we know how segregated the sport has been from its original tradition.
Sure.
All the way up to now in 2021. It's still, to this day, don't quote me on this, one of the most segregated sports still alive.
Yeah.
Now, the segregation isn't really about black and white, though. It's about the rich and the poor.
I get it, dude, because I mean, I look at tennis like it is one of the sports like golf, like it is mainly dominated by, you know, those sports clubs. Those clubs are tough to get into. They're very expensive to get into.
No,
you and I couldn't get into those clubs just on the regular. Like, you're going there only because you're playing a tournament, not because you're a club member. Like, we're not members. I would never be a member somewhere.
But the Louisville Boat Club isn't one of those clubs where you can get a membership. You don't get a membership there. You're there because your ancestors put you there.
For sure.
That's that club. This is now. Don't get me wrong. We got other clubs in the city where you can pay your fee and whatever or not, but you'll probably most likely be discriminated against. I mean, I'm not even gonna talk about the other clubs that I was discriminated against because I had no money involved, I had no interest involved, and I just stayed away from them.
Sure.
This one I put my life into, and clearly they use that to their advantage. And with that being said, as you ask your next question, I'm gonna look this up real quick.
No, you're good. I'm just gonna actually pop up some comments if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it was funny because Kevin Borges, and I'm sure you remember Kevin Borges. He popped in like, "Is this Damian from Coffee High?" Yeah, it is. It is Farris, like for sure. And yeah, I'm like. And then Jose Torres wanted to let you know, he was like, "Do you, Farris? I'm behind you. I'm actually going to have Jose Torres on in a couple of weeks to tell his story. He's going to come on."
I'll tell you the story about Jose right now. That's the only Puerto Rican that you would never know is Puerto Rican next to Joey because of how pale he is.
Blonde hair. Yeah, like he got the blonde hair. I'm like, Jose. But got a typical Puerto Rican name,
bro.
bro. That thing is Jose Torres.
I didn't know till my senior year he was Puerto Rican,
Love
bro.
that guy. Love that guy. Yeah, I'm like, he's coming on in a couple weeks. I grew up with that dude. Like, he wrestled with me for years. Like, I love Jose. Jose's hilarious, man.
He was something else in high school. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, Kevin popped back in. He was like, he's always been a good dude for what I remember. Yeah, for sure, man. Farris is, I mean, listen, he's only heated because he's passionate about the story that he's telling right now, right this second. You know, and I, you know, sometimes people take things the wrong way on when we're passionate about things and we really want to put a story out there. Are we going to get very
I want the
negative to what it is to the story that we're telling? Yeah, of course.
I want negative comments. I want to hear somebody say some bullshit to me.
Yeah, like nobody's commenting bad stuff. Everybody's just laughing. Jose Torres is commenting. He's like laughing at it. It's like funny.
Yeah,
but yeah, you know, and I appreciate that.
Did Jose retire from the military?
Jose's retired from the military. He's like president of like the VA relations. Like he's doing things for veterans and taking care of them. And like his story is going to be a good story too because he's been to war. He's got injured bad, dude. Like he's lucky to have survived, and you know, and we're going to tell that whole story. Like I can't wait to have him on because he's going to be a great story.
Yeah, he's been dealing with the veteran affairs and all that good stuff for many years. I've looked him up. I had his card in my wallet for like many years after our high school reunion, our 20-year reunion.
Yeah,
I had his card in my wallet for like almost 3 years.
I don't know. That's awesome.
And then I lost it now. So send me your information, Jose, man. I'd love to link up, bro.
Oh yeah. Hit him up. He's out there, man. I don't know if there's anything else, I guess, that you want to like really say about the case right now and what's going on as far as where you're at with this point and what you're looking to do with it in the future and where we're going. And then, because I mean, we're definitely going to follow up on the story. You know, I'm not.
So with that being said, I'll take the next 90 seconds to just go ahead and tell you where I'm at, what I'm going to be doing. Right now, my 100% focus is on my students. I have, let me break it down. You know, I have a 5-year-old. I got some 6-year-olds. I got 2 8-year-olds. I have 2 11-year-olds. I have a 14-year-old. I have a 16-year-old. I have a slew of 22-year-olds, 35, 44, 63. I have a lot of students that I train daily in this sport. My daughter spent 6 hours. My 1-year-old spent 6 hours with me yesterday on the tennis court in the shade, of course. I don't want anybody calling CPS. I'm like, you had that little baby? You know, she was running around with her tennis racket and everything else. I train. I'm a professional tennis instructor, and my life goal is to impart this same knowledge that was given to me by my coach, Friday Ohanwu, lifelong lessons. The number one principle in tennis is courtesy. And I intend to show that courtesy and extend that courtesy, not just on the tennis court, but off the tennis court and everything that I do. I always have. I've continuously taken my day-to-day as a lesson to be learned to do better the next day. And it all stems from the discipline and the courtesy that I was extended when I was introduced to the sport of tennis at the age of 7. It gives me nothing but great honor and privilege to represent the USTA, United States Tennis Association, no matter what their stance is before me, beside me, or against me. I am a representative of the PTR, the Professional Tennis Registration, Safe Sport, as well as what we all hope we never have to deal with, which is life-saving CPR. Okay, I go above and beyond to make sure that my students are disciplined, well taken care of, treated with respect to their parents, and I give nothing but absolute humbling respect to my parents for giving me this opportunity to even know what I'm talking about right now. And not only do I know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna flip the script real quick, and I'm gonna just end this with this. If you look at the video that I sent leading up to this, the name of this video is Nordarikra. What is Nordarikra? Nordarikra is this right here. This fist that should have went against that man's mouth for disrespecting me the way he did. But I didn't do it. I did it out of respect for my sport, out of respect for my family, out of respect for my life, out of respect for decency and honesty that you give to a human being that you're supposed to give to another human being. But when your upbringing is different, that's what you got to deal with. So with that being said, I don't know what else to say. I'm going to sip the rest of my Black Henny here. We're going to move on. I'm going to take my daughter out on the court tomorrow. I got lessons tomorrow. I'm going to take care of my students. And Tony, I love you. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to sip a little one with you. Salute all day. Scoot over real quick. Big ups. Shout out to my man, Manny Manilo. You know, big ups to him. Rest in peace, Manny. I rip this every day because if not for this album right here, I wouldn't even be able to express the way that I'm feeling right now about what happened to my family. Because of this right here, because of Manny, because of Joey, because of Lorraine, because of you, Tony, everybody that represents South Lorraine, hashtag Lorraine Proud. I'm not going to let nobody disrespect my city and disrespect nobody that come from my city. I may be in Louisville, Kentucky, but I'll be damned if I let you do anything like this. We don't do this where I'm from. Where I'm from, you would have got your ass whooped quick. And for the rest of your life, anybody that even said they knew you was going to get their ass whooped. You don't disrespect my family like that, homie. That's what it is, bro.
Shout out. And shout out to you, Tone.
Now, La Familia. All day, bro.
Baby. You know what's up.
See,
appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
You get in contact with me. Damian knows how. Ferris knows how to get a hold of me, man.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what's up with you, bro. You know, hey, you know, I know it sucks, dude. And I know you're pissed right now. And
no, I'm happy.
like I said, I was more than happy to help you put your story out there, dude. And you know, and I appreciate you coming on. You know, I don't know what else you want me to say to you. You know, I'm sorry, man. I am not gonna do the bullshit, the pick your poisons and stuff. That's for first time guests coming on.
You don't want no poison this way.
Yeah, I'm like, some people wanted you to just, you know, keep them updated, man.
Yes,
represent the brand proud.
Now,
Black Henny.
now
Megan says she's ready. She's ready to come over.
Yeah, come on over. Well, hold
Rest
up.
in peace to Manny.
You better get here quick. Yeah, we ain't got the little bottle. Now I'm gonna tell you this right now. Now I know I said I was gonna end this, but I'm looking at this. But listen, Tony, this story has already been presented to some people that decided they don't want nothing to do with it, like WDRB News here in Louisville.
Sure.
And the Louisville Boat Club knows about it. They got the same complaint that sent them the USTA in New York, the USTA of Kentucky. The PTR doesn't know, the ITF doesn't know, the UTR doesn't know. Okay, but all these people are gonna know. Now, whoever decides to stand up for the right and take the same information that you got, that I have, that they all have, and actually do something about it, that's on them. But from where I'm from, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure everybody know and that I get, listen, let's start here. I want my $100 back that I paid to enter this tournament. Start there.
I got you. I got
start
you.
right there.
Yeah.
I want my $100 back.
I know.
Okay? That's step one. There we go. Anything else?
No. You're good, kid. I'll holler at you in a second. I'm going to drop you backstage, dude. I appreciate y'all coming on, man. Yeah. I'm going to do my final quote of the night and get out of here so I can talk with my boy again, man.
Bye.
So, D, yeah, sweetheart. T, take care of yourselves, man. Appreciate you, dude.
Take care, Tony, man. I appreciate you, man. You're the man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's my boy Damian Farris Montgomery. Like I said, I wanted to bring on something that was a little controversial. You know, I'm not into kind of getting into those kind of stories just yet with people, but it was a recap that I was looking to do. I was excited, like, to get on with him and just really tell the story and let people know what it is that's going on out there. And like we talked about, it's not just in tennis; it's in every sport that's going on today. It's always going to be happening. You know, we're just trying to slow it down by putting our word out there and letting people know that it is going on at these certain places. And that's how things start to slow down at least a little bit, so that the next generations get a chance to do what it is that they can do, you know? So with that being said, like I said, I want to appreciate Damian for coming on. Farris Montgomery is the man. I'm going to do my final quote of the night and I'm going to get out of here so I can chop it up with him a little bit more. My final quote of the night is: integrity is the doing the right thing when no one is watching. That's what's most important, is what it is that we do when nobody else is watching, when nobody else is paying attention, because that's what speaks volumes about the character that we are. So with that being said, the business. Let's be real. Episode 34, over, out.